Good morning, dear students. Today we will start with new chapter number 13, organisms and populations. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to learn about various kinds of organisms and their habitats plus the populations of the organism. Okay, so let's start. As you all know that no one organism can live in the nature, and several type of abiotic and biotic things or continue are present around it, right? So we can say that no one organism can live in the nature, and there are several types of, like, they are divided into several categories. So some are abiotic and some are biotic things. Okay, so or the conditions which is present around it means the environment or nature. So these conditions affect each others. All the biotic and abiotic conditions such as soil, temperature, air, right? So animals and plants that affect living beings directly or indirectly, that are called environment, okay, by which they get affected. Environment to compose of 5 components. Basically that 5 components are air, water, soil, sunlight and living beings. Living beings means under plants and animals, they will count as a living beings. So organisms and environment are closely related with each other, and both affects a lot, right? So as we all know, as control each other means how we can control these organisms to connect with each other. Okay, so as the environment is composed of organic and inorganic components, hence all the living beings affect these factors and being affected. So these interrelationship are studied under the specific branch, and that branch is known as ecology. Clear? So according to Odum in 1965, ecology is the branch of biology which deal with the study of structure and functions of the nature. So the term ecology is made up of 2 Greek words, that is ox, that is habitat, and logos means to study. Okay, study of habitat. So ecology is divided into following branches. So these are different branches. First is autology. ठीक है, so it is the branch of ecology deal with the study of ecology of one species, means under this we can only study one species. Now next we having cynocology. Okay, so in this branch ecology which deal with the study of many species or communities, or also we can communicate. Okay, now next we having ecology, ecosystem ecology, means it deal with the analysis of ecosystem from structure and functional viewpoint of view. Okay, means under this we can do the study of their structure as well as their functions. Okay, next we having gene ecology. So what is gene ecology? It is the study of genetic makeup of a species of population in relation to environment. Okay, we can also find out the environment of particular species. Okay, next we having population ecology. Population ecology means which deal with the study of interrelationship of different group of organisms which having interrelationship. Now levels of organization. So organization means the pattern in which the 2 small components of any structure, system or individuals are arranged in a hierarchy or to coordinate with one another towards a goal, that is known as levels of organization. Now we having lower level of organization as well as higher level of organization. Okay, so when we will talk about lower level organization, like atoms, molecules, simple compounds, complex organic compounds, protoplasm and organelle cells, etc. Okay, so in this way we also having higher level organization like living cells, then tissues, organ system, after that individual organisms, then population, then community, फिर ecosystem, biopriacy and the living world is formed. Okay, now so the organization of life found in a different stages, and they are as follows. First is your molecular organization level, and next we having many type of level. Let's start with molecular organization. Okay, so the body of living being is composed of different types of element, and these elements organized in a definite order to form compounds like protein, carbohydrate, fat, nucleic acid, vitamins, etc. So all these will come under the molecular organization level. Now next we having cellular organization level. So what is cellular? Like protoplasm in the physical basis of life. It is found in a well organized from a living being surrounded by a special member, okay, and that is called cell membrane, and it is called cell. So normally in the center of cell there is a round dense body that is known as nucleus, right? So the cell perform all the life process like respiration, excretion, etc., right? So the formation of cell by the organization of protoplasm is known as cellular level of organization. Okay, next we having tissue organization level. So tissue organization means in unicellular organism one cell is found, but multicellular organism having many cells, right? Yes, so many cells which unit to form a tissue, and the process of organization of the cell is into the tissues is called a tissue organization level. Means that cell will converted into tissue. Okay, yes. Now next we having organism organization level, means how organism will, yes. So in complex multicellular living beings the cell organized to form tissues, and while tissues form organs, and these organs organized to form a system, and finally the various system organized to form a complete living body. So in this way the tissue and organ system organized to form the body, and that is called the organism, right? For example, man, monkey, cow, etc., we all are organisms, right? Yes. Now higher organization level. Okay, so the living world also act as a living unit. So in this unit many organization levels are found. So similarly types of the living beings together form the species, right? So this is called species organization level. Okay, yes. And also, okay, so this is all about the various organization level. Now we will talk about, yes dear students, you can see this different levels of organization. You can see by amino acid, amoeba, then nerve cells. In this way all organizations levels is completed or formed. Okay, now next we will talk about ecological hierarchy. Okay, so what is ecological hierarchy is, first of all I'll tell you the word meaning. Hierarchy means a system have many level from lowest to the highest, means from lower when we will go upper or the higher, that is known as hierarchy. Okay, so in other words we can say literally hierarchy means grade series, and therefore ecological hierarchy denotes graded ecological groups or series of the organisms. Okay, now like we having some characteristics, like every levels of biological unit has a particular structure and function, means lower species having different types of structure and function, as well as the higher species having different types of structure and function. Okay, so we have categorized the ecological hierarchy. Okay, so let us talk how we have categorized. So following levels of ecological hierarchy are found, like organisms, then second species, then after species population, then biotic community, after that ecosystem, then biome, and last biosphere. So let's start with the first, organisms. Okay, so what is the characters of organisms? And organisms is a smallest unit of ecological hierarchy. It is clear cut visual appearance, right? So here is one table is given. See this different level of organisms organization in the living world, means how we have organized the levels in our living world. You can see, yes, and all the life activities takes place independently in an organism. This is also a main point. Okay, so this is all about organisms. Now let us talk about the species. What is species? Species means a group of similar organisms, that is called species, means where similar organisms having in a group. Okay, or species may be defined as a population of closely similar, that is interbreeding individual which are reproductively isolated from others, that is other such populations. Okay, yes, or again we having a one definition, that species is a group of individual which are similar to their structure, function and behavior, that is known as species. Now let's talk about population. What is population? Population is an assemblage of organism which may belongs to a single species or to a several related species occupying a particular area at a given time. Clear? Now, according to Knight in 1965, he have also defined a definition of a species. A population is generally a group of individuals of a particular species occupying a particular area at a specific time. That is known as species. Okay? Yes, not species, that is known as population. Yes. Next we will talk about biotic community. What is biotic community? A biotic community is a localized association of several population of different species like living in given geographical area of habitat. Okay, it represent heterogeneous assemblage of different group of organisms, both plants and animal, that is biotics, right? Biotic community is composed of a small unit of intermediately associated member belongs to the different species. Is it clear? Now, or in other words, I want to tell you what is biotic community, in which organisms that live together and interact with each other, which is known as environmental or habitat. Clear? Yes. So you can see here in the basis of biotic community, we have divided the habitat, means how we can show the forest community showing the satisfactory. Okay, so you can see in this figure, a plant community possesses a number of layer or strains related to the height group of the plants, right? So thus there may be the topmost layer of tree, a layer of smaller tree in the middle, and followed by the layer of shrubs, a tall herbs, true seedlings, short herbs. Like in this way we have divided the trees according to their basis height. You can see the smallest one is known as herbs, then little tall, that's shrubs, and the biggest is a tree, and the toppest is the top story trees. Clear? Yes. So ecosystem. Okay, so it is the system resulted due to interaction between organisms and environment, like it included biotic communities that interact with abiotic factor of the habitat. They are known as ecosystem. Now next we having biome. Okay, so an ecosystem may be natural or artificial, right? Ecosystem is an open system because it can be natural and it can be artificial, right? So biome. So a biome is a large terrestrial ecological unit characterized by a major vegetative and associated animal. Okay, or a biome has a specific kind of plants and animal species within. If we will talk about a geographical area, so that has distinct with a climatic condition, or we can say the major biomes of the world are like desert biome, grassland, tropical forest, or deciduous forests, etc. Right? Yes. So this is about biome. Now what is biosphere? Biosphere is a combination of all the ecosystem on the earth. Earth is a biosphere, right? It has the highest level of organization, that it included all the living organism and the physical environment in which they interact. Clear? Yes. Now we will talk about habitat and niches. Okay, so what is habitat? Habitat is a place which is made up of biotic or abiotic factors and where organism lives, right? So that is known as habitat. Okay, for example, forest, pond, river, sea, desert. Different type of organism can live in different type of ecosystem, right? Or different type of habitat. according to the organism they can live, so that is known as habitat. Now we will talk about niches. What is niches? Okay, so niches means the habitat in which the organ is live, means according to the habitat the organ live, that is known as niches. Okay, so we having two types of niches, that is fundamental niches and realized niches. Okay, what is fundamental? It is the maximum or multi-dimensional niches in which a species can use when there is not a component from other species, right? Okay, now we having realized niches. Okay, it is a niches in which a species use only a smaller hyper volume due to compositions of from the other. Yes, so we having some difference between niches and habitat, you can see. Now we will start with population. What is population? So population I have already described you, I have already told you what is population. Now we will learn about the characteristic features of population. Means according to the basis and their characteristic features, the population is divided into many categories. Okay, so any population have following characteristics, means they have divided according to their characters. So first is your population density. Now natality or birth rate we can say, mortality or death rate, age distribution, biotic potential, growth pattern, population equilibrium, population fluctuations, population dispersal, and internal distribution of population. So we having 10 features according to the characteristics. Okay, so let's start with population density. So number of individual is described in the term of density, that is known as population density, right? Or how we can find out the population density, that is D is equals to numbers upon the species. Okay, S, in this way. Okay, now next we having nationality or the birth rate. Okay, how we can count the birth rate of particular population? So it is the number of average individual produced by the population in the unit, means nationality is equals to annual birth upon population at mid-year multiplied by 1000. Clear? Yes. Now next we having mortality or a death rate. Okay, so mortality, it is the number of individual dying per unit of time in a particular population. Clear? Now mortality is equals to annual birth upon population at mid-year multiplied by 1000. Okay, so this is also, see here, this is a now next we having age distribution. Okay, so what is age distribution? The ratio of number of individual belongs to different age group is one of the important factor of any population, right? Like we having pre-reproductive or reproductive and post-reproductive. Okay, so we have categorized in 3 parts. Okay, so in a population, if number of individual is pre-reproductive, that phases is more, then one can expressed as a tremendous increase in population in future. So similarly, more number of individual is reproductive phase also help in increasing the population also, right? So on the other hand, less number of individual is known as phase decreases the population. Okay, so if a number of individual is post reproductive phase is more than rest of the two, right? So then one can express as a fast decrease in the population if the ratio of all these 3 phases is equal, and then the population is known as status, means equal. Okay, now next we will talk about biotic potential. What is biotic potential? So when the maximum capacity to which a population can grow under most favorable condition is known as biotic potential of the population. Clear? Now next we having growth pattern. So growth pattern means the way of growth of population is known as population and growth pattern. I will also tell you population growth have 2 shapes. Okay, so I'll tell you which type of, see here in this structure, this is shape growth curve, means one is of curve shape and one is of J shape. Okay, J shape growth curve. Okay, so see here, according to this we can measure the growth rate, okay, growth pattern. Now, next we having population equilibrium. What is population equilibrium? When growth pattern of any population is observed, then it become clear that any population increases at faster rate in the beginning in a new area and reaches to a maximum limit and the remain constant for a long time. And this phase is called as population equilibrium, means suddenly they grows up and suddenly they just stable. Okay. Now, population fluctuations. So, any increase or decrease in number of individual in a population from its equilibrium, that is known as population fluctuation, means decreasing of the number, right? Now, next we having population dispersal. What is population dispersal? Means the movement of individual of population for a particular place to another, that is known as population dispersal. Means when a particular species can go from one place to another, that is known as population dispersal. Now, the last and the 10th point we having internal distribution of population or population structure. Okay, so population structure means distribution of individual in a population. So it may be of three type, that is uniform distribution, random distribution and clump distribution. Okay, so what is uniform distribution? Just look at this picture, my dear students. The first picture shows you a point, that is known as uniform distribution, means in a sequence, or we can say when individuals are uniform distributed in a population, right? So it has founded in such places where there is a struggle for the existence, right? Now, next we having random distribution. Random distribution means anywhere randomly you just shift. Okay, so when a population individual are arranged in a secreted way. Okay, it is rarely seen, but okay, this is rarely. Yes. Now, last we having clumped distribution. So what is that? That is when a particular when in a population individual are formed, one or more than one group formed, means one or more than one group is formed, that is known as clumped distribution. Is it clear for you? Yes. So next we will talk about ecological adaptation. What is ecological adaptation? So you know already that different climate conditions prevail in different parts of the earth. We are well known that every organism is structurally and functionally suited for a particular environment, right? This is due to the reason that because of the inhabiting of a particular species is a specific environment for several, right? For several generations. So what we can say that they have specialized features and they having developed in the individual, right? So for example, polar bears can never be inhabited of tropical condition. So therefore adaptation can be defined as the structural and functional changes in an organism which help in its surviving in a given environment, right? That is known as according to the ecological adaptation in organism. Clear? Yes. Now let's talk about ecological classification of plants. Okay, now classification of plants. So water is very important for the life of plant because it is necessary for the growth, reproduction and physical function, right? So on the basis of the specific requirement of water for plant growth, so now Warming in 1909 divided plant into three groups. And what are these groups are? First is hydrophytes, next is mesophytes and last is your xerophytes. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so let's talk about hydrophytes. What is hydrophytes? Okay, hydrophytes means those who generally found, hydro means water and phyton means plants, means the plants which generally found inside water, that is known as hydrophytes. Okay, so what are the important features of hydrophytes? Means the cuticle is either absent or very thin deposited to the epidermis, or usually stomata are absent. If present they are non-functional. Okay, if stomata. Okay, so in this way we having many characteristic features of hydrophytes. Now let's talk about the classification of aquatic plant on the basis of their habitat. Okay, so on the basis of relationship between aquatic plants and their their aquatic habitat, hydrophytes can be classified into following ecological group, and they are submerged plant, floating plant, amphibious plant, and marshy plants. Okay, so I'll explain you what is the meaning of submerged plant. Submerged plant means those type of plant which generally lives under the water, means they are not visible, means they are lives under the water. Okay, so they are basically they are of two type, that is rooted and floating. Rooted means those who are attached with their root inside the water, and floating submerged means those who float on the layer of the water. Okay, yes. Now next we having floating plant. Floating plant means which which they are not attached with their roots, okay, inside the water, and they generally lives or floats on the upper side of the water, right? Means this type of floating hydrophytes are not found attached to the soil, yes, and they float on the surface of the water. You can see in this picture, there is some pictures given to you, yes. So these are the examples of the free floating plant. Okay, now again this free floating plant is also divided into rooted floating plant. What is rooted? Means such category of aquatic plants are rooted in mud, means they are attached in mud but possesses floating level, but still they can float. Okay, yes. Now next we having amphibious plant. What is amphibious plants, my dear student? Those who are including long root or we can say a smart weed. Okay, they are known as amphibious plant. Okay, so some plants are adapted both aquatic and terrestrial modes of life, and they are called amphibious plant, or they grow in a shallow water or a muddy situation. So you can see this is called amphibious plants. Okay, they can attach and also they can survive on the terrestrial area also. Okay, now next we having marshy plant. Marshy plant means generally found in a soil and mud, that is known as marshy plant. See, we having various examples of marshy plants, yes, types of marshy plants. Okay, now next we will let's talk about hydrophyte adaptation. Hydrophytic adaptation or yes, responses. Okay, so hydrophytic means those who have adapted to living in water condition. Okay, so such changes which enable to hydrophytic plant to withstand, or we can say of environment and utilize to their maximum benefit are known as hydrophytic adaptation or responses. Means those who have adapted to live in water condition, live in water condition. Okay, so according to this, plant grows in water or water rich substances required abundance of water to complete their life cycle. Okay, so to show three types of adaptation, I'll show you. First is your morphological adaptation or responses, next anatomically, and last is physiologically. Okay, so let's start with morphologically. Morphologically means the various morphological adaptation or responses found in hydrophytes and are being under mentioned. Okay, so it can take how? So it can take adaptation by roots, okay, or by stem or by leaves. Means generally three types of adaptation takes place in morphological adaptation by roots. So let's talk about root. So listen, root system is a feebly, that is lack strength, develop and unbranch. Some floating plants like wolfia है ना, so submerged plant they having lack roots. Okay, so what is the role of root? Root hairs are absent except rooted floating hydrophytes. Okay, in most of the hydrophyte, roots are meaningless and the entire surface of the plant body is directly coated with a water and act as a absorptive surface. Clear? Yes. Now let's talk about the stem adaptation. So in stem adaptation, in a free floating hydrophytes, stem are modified as thick, right, or stoloniferous, or a set of occurs horizontally on the water surface. So the stem may be modified by the runner, stolon tuber to perform vegetative propagation effectively, right? Now next we will talk about the adaptation in leaves, how leaves can adapt it. So in free floating plant, okay, like trapa, etc. So the petioles become characteristically swollen and develop sponges which keep in plant as a float. Okay, so by the help of leaf they can float. Now see here, this is some pictures is given to you with the examples, right? Yes. Now this is our morphologically. Now let's talk about anatomically. Okay, anatomically adaptation. So anatomically, in which following anatomically adaptation are found in hydrophytes. Cuticle is totally lacking in submerged form of hydrophytes, as their whole plant body act as an organ of adaptation for water and nutrition. Okay, so cuticle may be present in the form of very thin layer of the surface part and floating and amphibious hydrophytes which are exposed to the atmosphere. Okay, so in this way I'll show you one example also, that is the TS of stem. Yes, hydrilla. Yes, you can see here, this is the best example of anatomically adaptations. Okay, so I'll tell you some more points. So in leaves there is a poor differentiation between the sponges and palisada cells. Okay, or we can say secondary growth are lacking in the hydrophytes. Okay, that's why this shows a very good response to the anatomically adaptation. Now let's talk about physiologically adaptation. Okay, so physiologically adaptation means many physiological adaptation are also associated with hydrophyte plants. So some important adaptations we can see here, like hydrophyte shows low osmotic concentration of cell shape, or we can say osmotic concentration of cell shape is equals or slightly higher than that of the habitat water. Okay, so in this way, or we can say the gases are exchanges from water through surface cells, or the whole body of plant act as a absorbing area of the absorption of nutrition. Clear? Yes. Now this is mainly three type of adaptation or responses we have seen in a hydrophytic plants. Okay, now let's talk about xerophytic plant. What is xerophytic plant? Okay, so the xerophytic, like see, xeros means dry and phytic means plant, means those plants which generally survives in a dry area. Okay, so what is xerophytes? So places where available water is not present in adequate quantity, means the quantity of water is low, are termed as a xeric habitat. And if the soil is provided with which lower concentrate of water and climate is dry, and the habitat is called physically dry, and the plant growing in dry habitat or a habitat where water is unfit for absorption, such as saline water, right? And these are called xerophytes. Clear? Yes. So we having some factor that is responsible for the xerophytism, that non-availability of water in the soil, right? Yes, occurrence of sandy or rocky soil, yes, or lower precipitate like lower rainfall area, these places generally, right? Yes. So main xeric habitat are generally they are physically dry habitat or physiologically dry. Okay, or physically or physiologically dry. So just discuss what is this physically dry habitat. Okay, physically dry means the physical dry habitat have relatively dry climate, means or extremely dry soil. That particular area is known as physically dry. But when we will talk about physiologically dry means dry habitat have wet climate and moisture soil, but the water present in the soil cannot be used well by the plant directly. Okay, means little soil or little moisture area or moisture soil, but we cannot take that water, Okay, now when we will talk about both, that is physically and physiologically, that means the habitat where dryness is caused by both actually and deficiency of water as well as inability of plant to absorb water due to physiological reason, like rocky slope of high mountain are the good example of such type of habitat, right? Rocky slopes, yes, and high mountains. So yes, so in our next class we will discuss the classification of xerophytics. Thank you.